Hi, I'm Tom, and in this video I will show you how to edit and move walls in FreeCAD BIM. I'm using FreeCAD 1.0 in this video. I'll be using this simple garage model. If you want to follow along, you can download the model from my Ko-Fi shop for free. The link is in the description box below. Now to start, it's important to know that each wall has a base object on which it is based. If I created this wall, by default it's a sketch, but when I will delete this wall and the sketch, in my garage building, I created the base object as a draft object, so lines or rectangles or wires. So it's important to note which one of these objects is the base object of the wall. So in the first half of the video, I will show you how to edit walls which are based on the draft objects. And in the second part of the video, I will show you a bit how to edit objects which are based on sketch objects. So here in my sample project, first let me hide the license tags, the driveway and the plot of land. And so we have got only this building, and I will also hide the roof, so I have these interior walls visible. So first off, if you want to move a wall, and you can see that I created this wall independent of this interior wall, and it's based on just a simple line. So if I want to move this wall, I will use the draft move tool. So I will fire up the tool, click here, move my cursor here, hold shift, release shift, and in the local x-axis I will move it to minus 500 millimeters, and you can see that the wall is moved together with the door. Now it's important to note that if I unhide the line, so I make the baseline visible, the baseline stays at the original place. You could actually join the movement in the wall properties. There's in the data properties, there is under the component options, there is move base. And if I set this to true, and I would move the wall, I can redraw the wall. If I would now move the wall object, and I will move it by random space, you can see that the wall is moving together with the baseline. But unfortunately, if I had this setting turned on, the openings, the windows and doors is not moving together with the door. So I recommend to have this option have set to false. So I will go back to my original position and redraw the sketch and hide the base object, hide the line tool as it previously was. Now if I want to extend this wall to here, this wall is again based on a line object. So I will be using again draft editing tools. Just to know what I'm doing, I will turn on the line and hide the wall. You can see that the draft line is here, but I actually don't have to have it visible. I can have it like this. I will just select the line and use the trim extend tool. Now in FreeCAD 1.0 there are two bugs that hamper the use of this tool as I'm showing you, but hopefully in FreeCAD 1.1 these will be fixed. So I started the trim X on the line, and now if I hover my mouse over this face where I want to extend the line or the wall, it seems you can see in the preview the line is moving here. So I will click on the face and the wall was extended, but there are two problems. First of all is that the alignment of the wall has changed. Previously it was aligned that it's over, you can see the door stays at the same place. So the door is here, and if I extended the wall, it changed its alignment. So what you then have to do is change the alignment of the wall from the original one to the another one, so from left to right. If your wall has center alignment, this bug, this small problem, would be not problematic for you. So this is the first problem. And then the second problem is that you can see that the wall is extended up to here. Why is that? Again, this is a bug of FreeCAD 1.0 that when I'm hovering, extending to this face, it extends it to the other face of the wall. And if I would extend to this face, it would extend to here. So what I will do, I will actually do a few steps back. Oh, not like this, like this. And now I can hide the line and use the trim X command. And I would not point my mouse to extend it to this face, but to this face. So I will click here. Now the wall is extended to the correct place. The alignment still remains problematic, so I have to switch that. But what if I wanted to extend the wall by a certain length? So let's say I wanted to make it 1 meter longer. How would I do that if it's based on a line? I would again select line, fire up the Trim X tool, point my mouse somewhere here in the space, and here you can see the distance. So if I point my mouse here and I would type in 1000 as in millimeters, I made the wall 1000 millimeters longer. What you can also do is change the length parameter, but at that point you have you can see that I have no control over which direction it's made longer. This is, I was making the line longer, so I will hide it. You can also, in the wall properties, you can also change the width of the wall to, let's say, 250, and you can also change the height of the wall. Here in the wall properties, you can also change the length, but you have got the same problem as when you are changing directly length of the line, but this one translates to the length of the baseline. So let me just take a few steps back. I think it should be at this point. Oh, one more. Okay. So this one is the edit that I wanted to have. So this is how you edit walls, the basics of editing when they are independent objects. But let's say I have this front wall and I want to move it 1000 millimeters outside. I want to make the garage 1000 millimeters larger. If I just select it, you can see that I'm selecting the whole exterior wall because it's based on one object, the rectangle. So if I would move this wall here, I would be moving the whole all of the walls. So this is not what I want. I will go step back and redraw the drawing. You can see here that the step back didn't take account the Boolean operation with the roof, so I'll just actually not handle this here now and just change the height of the wall like this, so it doesn't bother us for now. And to move this front part of the wall, I have to again edit the underlying geometry, the underlying rectangle. And for that, I will use the stretch tool. This tool is very useful when working with draft objects. I have a separate tutorial on this tool, so if you want to know more about this tool, you can watch that. But here, I will just select the rectangle, look from the top view to see what I'm doing like this, and I will, with the rectangle selected, I will use the stretch tool. I will select which objects of the rectangle, which points or vertices I want to move. So I will click here and click here. So these two vertices I'm moving. And now I will click here, hold shift, move my mouse to left, and type in -1000 in the x-axis to make the rectangle 1000 millimeters larger in this way. Now you can see that the front wall is adjusted according to the shape of the rectangle, and because I have the wall based on the rectangle and the slab based on the same rectangle, the same object, the floor is adjusted the same way. But you can see the problem here, that the walls, the wall openings, the doors or the windows stayed at the original position. As of FreeCAD 1.0, this is actually kind of a weak point of FreeCAD. When you have this, when you have wall based on a more complicated sketch or draft or rectangle object, then you have to then select with control, I will select both of the doors and move them independently of the wall like this. So this is how you edit walls when they are based not on just a simple line but more complicated draft object like rectangle. Now let's move into the second part of the video where I will show you how to edit walls which are based on sketch objects. But I don't have any walls like this here, but I will show you a useful thing, and that is, now let's say I created the wall based on the rectangle, the draft object. And now I realize that I would rather have it based on a sketch object. How can I fix this? So I can use this tool which transforms draft to sketch or sketch to draft, either way. But before using the tool, it's good practice to look at the plan from the top view before firing up this tool. And I will select the rectangle, the base object, and I will transform it or basically create a copy, but it will be a sketch object. So I will now use this tool, and you can see that nothing changes, but here a new object, a sketch, is created. This sketch is actually a copy of the rectangle, but the wall is still based on the original rectangle. So I want to switch the base object of the wall. How do I do that? I do that by selecting the wall, and here in the component properties you can see that it's based on a rectangle, and I will actually, to know what I'm doing, I will name this sketch wall exterior, so it's easier for me to find it. So I will now select the wall, and I will go to the component properties, base. I will click here, click the three dots, and here from the list of objects in the project, I will select the sketch wall exterior, hit OK, and I can now redraw the project, and you can see that basically nothing changed for the wall, but now it's based on the sketch, and the rectangle is thrown away, or basically now it's just based for the slab object. So now I can edit this sketch object. So let me say I wanted to again move this front wall 1000 millimeters back in that direction, so it will have, the garage will have the original size. So I will double click the sketch, and it opens the sketch editor and hides the other object of the objects of the building. So here I'm in a sketcher which works completely differently from the draft object. And because I transformed this sketch from the rectangle, the only constraints are the horizontal and vertical. So I would have to constrain this object, but here it's quite easy because I can use the constraints coincident, and I will constrain it here to the base, this point to the base. So I will select this one, select this, and constrain it to here, and now it's constrained. Yeah. If it was not that simple, you would actually have to constrain the sketch completely. So maybe I would create a constraint of length here and constraint of length also here, and now it's fully constrained, and I can control the size of the base object like this. So now I will close editing of the sketch, and you can see that I will hide the roof. You can see that the wall has its original size, and I can select these two. The problem with doors staying where they were is the same, so I have to select these two walls and also move them 1000 millimeters in this direction. And you can also see here, because now the floor slab is based on the different object than the wall, it has stayed in the original dimensions, but I could actually also change the base object of the slab to this sketch. So if I select the slab, change the base from a rectangle to the sketch wall exterior, and redraw the project, now it will be adjusted the same way. So now let me also switch these two walls into sketch-based objects. So I will look from the top view and select this line and change it to sketch, and then select this wall and base it on the new sketch. It's sketch number 17, and also select this line, create a sketch copy, and select this wall and base it on the sketch 18. So now these two walls are sketch based objects, and I can actually delete these two original lines so they are not here. And you can see that I was messing previously with this wall, so you can see that the sketch is placed here. So yep, let me actually fix this. So I will select the wall, the move base is disabled, so I will move it back. I think it was 500 millimeters. Yep. So now the walls look like these. And let me also change the height of the walls. So they are, let's say 2500, like these. And now if I want to edit these walls, I would use the add again sketch tool. So basically, if I wanted to make this wall up to here, I would double click this sketch. So I'm editing this sketch, not this. This is external geometry. Working with the external geometry, it would make much more sense to join these two sketches into one sketch, and you can do that by using the merge walls tool. So if I select the first wall and the second wall, and I go to utils and use the merge wall tool, the resulting object is just one joined wall based on one sketch. So now when you are joining walls like this, you have to be mindful of some leftover openings like walls and windows. So now I have to select the door because it's not creating opening. The door is now basically without parent. So I have to select the door, select the wall, and use the arch remove tool to basically join the wall with the door with the wall. And now I can edit the sketch as a one. So I will double click the sketch. So I am entering the edit mode. Now again, this sketch is not constrained. So first I will constrain the horizontal distance from this point, that's the origin, to this point. I will constrain horizontal distance, leave it as it is. And also let's now make this distance constraint, again horizontal distance. And now I can constrain this line to this point. So I will use the constraint coincident. So this line to this point. So now it's placed here. And if I close the sketch, you can see that again here we have the problem that we encountered previously, that the door is not moving with the line. But this is how you edit the sketch-based walls. And let's say if I go back to the sketch and I wanted this wall to be at the original position, so I would change this dimension. So I would double click, and I think it was 1550. Okay, so that's the 500 millimeters. I would hit close, and if I hide the wall, you can see that the sketch is adjusted. This is the original. This is actually the original. Let me just show you. That's the sketch that was left behind this wall when I used the merge walls tool. So I will actually delete this sketch. So this is how you edit walls in FreeCAD. Just some basics and some problems that you might run into. Now, if you are interested in this sketch-based workflow a little bit more, and you want to avoid having doors being left behind when you edit the walls like this, you can actually check an experimental add-on called Sketch Arch by Paul Lee. It's available at GitHub, and it solves some of the sketch-based problems, sketch-based wall problems, and other architectural objects that you might find in the vanilla FreeCAD 1.0 release. So you might check that add-in, but be careful, it's still experimental. The link to the add-in is in the description box below. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in the next one.